The government is shut down, and Kanks is sending armed troops into American cities because of a little tiny religious whack job, pipsqueak Moses Mike Johnson. This guy is unbelievable. He constantly is talking about how religious he is, and God told him, hey buddy, wake up, you're Moses, you're going to be the Speaker of the House. And his full-time job is lifting up the frail, fragile ego of an 85-year-old dementia-ridden man. And so let's just listen. Here is Moses Mike talking about the shutdown, and he says he has absolutely nothing to hide.
I say the same things privately that I say publicly. We are consistent, and that's why it's easy for me to stand up here and share the facts. When the simple truth is on your side, you have nothing to hide
pause
from.
that.
I'm just presenting this to the American people.
He says he has no problem because he lives his life the same publicly and privately. There is a total viral video going around right now about this man's Grindr profile. This is a guy who in his spare time has Pray the Gay Away camps and monitors his son's porn, and in turn his son monitors his porn use. All right, play the clip.
Well, this is the fourth time we've done that. I hate to drag you all out and go through all the details, but I've got to put on the case over and over because repetition apparently is the key to this. People are starting to recognize this is not a Republican shutdown. It is a Schumer Democrat shutdown. Again, why? Because they needed political cover. It's shameless.
Okay, stop.
It is sad.
It is the Moses Mike Johnson Fleabag Kanks shutdown because they are trying to concentrate power, period. That's what this is about. And it's also to help provide cover for the Epstein files. Here is Moses Mike Johnson in this next clip, you guys, lying through his teeth. And I want to remind you, he's the man who constantly talks about his faith. He and Jesus Christ are BFFs. You're not supposed to lie if you're a big MAGA Christian like Moses Mike. And here he is lying about healthcare. One of the biggest things he should be doing in Congress as a big Christian should be helping the sick. And he led the largest Medicaid tax cut ever in the big ugly bill. This guy, the big lying Christian, he's the one that signed it. And here he is, this hypocritical charlatan standing up, lying to the camera again. Play the clip.
So they created a red herring. A red herring is a distraction. They decided that they would pick a fight on healthcare. Well, let me look right into the camera and tell you very clearly. Republicans are the ones concerned about healthcare. Republicans are the party working around the clock every day to fix healthcare. This is not talking points for us. We've done it. A big part of the one big beautiful bill, the working families tax cut, was to fix healthcare.
Okay, that's just a lie. That is a total lie. It is the biggest, largest cut to healthcare in American history. So this man stands up and weaponizes his Christian faith. And meanwhile, his constituents in Louisiana suffer the most, while this guy is either A, on Grindr, B, has his head up Donald Trump's ass so much. You can tell as he's standing there, because this is like, we're about a week out from the big Grindr rumor thing. To me, he looks and feels a little bit more exposed. Like, I don't know if it's just because we all know that he's a DL demon queen now. So he knows that we know, but it's amazing to me how these Christians have been exposed, and we have to call them out. These types of Christians, these white evangelical MAGA Christians, are total hypocrites. They don't give a shit about the sick. They don't give a shit about the poor. They only care about their cult leader, which is Kanks. They only care about his fragile ego, and they're tearing down the country because they're so broken. Basically, people are losing their health care because Moses Pipsqueak Mike refuses to come out of the closet and deal with who he is and embrace it and do the hard work so that he can ultimately have pride in who he is. Next up, here we have Moses Mike lying yet again. That's the theme of this episode about the Epstein files. Play the clip.
You've got to be very careful to protect them. Government has a responsibility to protect victims who have already been harmed. But I'm for maximum disclosure. I want every page of this out. We have always been consistent in that. But we have to do both things. I do, absolutely. I do believe that. Donald Trump's not implicated in this. If he was, you'd have known about it a long time ago. He wants to protect the innocent victims. He and I have talked about this. He's very passionate about that. But he's for maximum disclosure, and his DOJ is shown that. They're turning everything over, and it's all coming out. So it's in process right now.
Well, it all comes to
The gaslighting here is just off the chart. Number one, that Hanks isn't in the Epstein files. Nobody believes that. That's why they're not released. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Bongino, they all found out the hard way. He's in the Epstein files. I think I've heard like 300 times or something. And saying that Donald Trump cares about protecting the victims, it just shows you how stupid the MAGA base is. Like, that works, I guess, with the MAGA base to just brazenly gaslight and lie like that. But obviously, considering that Hanks is underwater with every demographic, the American public is not as stupid as Moses Pipsqueak Mike Johnson treats them. But there is some breaking news coming out about the Epstein case, and it is the Supreme Court has refused to hear it. And so Midas Touch is reporting the United States Supreme Court has declined to review Ghislaine Maxwell's criminal convictions for sex trafficking. So she will stay in jail, and they are not going to review this. And I guess even six assholes have moments of clarity from time to time. If only the Supreme Court could grow a pair in standing up to a 90-year-old dementia-riddled whack job dictator. All right. And then I want to remind you all, Moses Mike, he says, he's integrity. It's not hard to tell the truth. Yak, yak, blah, blah. Big Christian, monitoring porn, all the stuff that he does. Moses Mike is refusing to swear in a congresswoman because he'd rather protect a pedophile. Put up the headline from Rolling Stone. Democrat says Mike Johnson is delaying her swearing in to prevent the Epstein vote. This is a woman who won free and fair election. As soon as she signed in, Massey, who is a big Republican, will have 218 votes to release the Epstein files. But that little pipsqueak, Moses Mike, DL Demon Queen Johnson, will not do it because his number one goal is protecting Donald Trump's depravity. And it's just something that we can't talk about enough. These MAGA Christians that act like they have the moral high ground, and they elect these leaders that are just completely suffering from all around moral collapse, and the hypocrisy on display as they try to gaslight. Now, again, 30% of the United States population, I think they hear Moses Mike and they're like, oh yeah, let's go. But I think the majority of us know that he's full of shit. And I want to take a brief moment to share with you about our sponsor. You could probably hear the horns and the sirens. I've moved to New York. I had to find all new doctors, and I'm so grateful that I have ZocDoc because I need to go check with a dermatologist. I need to go check with an OBGYN. I got on my ZocDoc app. Voila. ZocDoc is a free app and website where you can search and compare high quality in-network doctors and click to instantly book an appointment. You can filter for doctors who take your insurance, are located nearby, and are a good fit for any medical need that you may have, and are highly rated by verified patients. The best part, you guys, appointments are made through ZocDoc. They happen really fast, typically within 24 to 72 hours of booking. More often than not, you can get the same day appointments. So listener, stop putting off those doctor's appointments and go to ZocDoc.com/IHIP to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. That's ZocDoc.com/IHIP, ZocDoc.com/IHIP. Back to our little pipsqueak, Moses Mike. I just want to remind you all, because I think it's important to remember things about this man. He has this crazy ass evangelical roommate in Washington, D.C., which I've discussed multiple times. But this gets dropped all the time. When he was really young and married, he adopted a son who was a teenager. Like, he adopted a 14-year-old. And now this child is never mentioned. He's never photographed. He's never anywhere. But here, the internet's forever. So here's Moses Mike with his son. There he is. He adopts this kid when he's 14, and big Christian, big family values, crickets about where this adopted son has ended up. So I just wanted to remind you of that. And also, last March, there was allegations on X and all over the internet that somebody found Moses Mike's Grindr profile. And I think it's interesting because all of this is still up on X. It's never been community noted. Elon Musk hasn't taken it down. There's been no denials at all. And I just want to, for spite, read over the alleged Grindr outing of Moses Mike, because this is just, I think this is what's at the core with this man. So Moses Mike messages the person on Grindr, "What luxurious hair you have." And the person on Grindr said, "Thank you. I would return the favor in giving you a compliment, but I don't know what you look like." Moses Mike allegedly says, "Are you in town for a couple of days visiting DC?" And the person on Grindr says, "Yes, I am. Are you offering a tour?" Moses Mike says, "I can give you one. I have a few contacts. We can go to the Danby for dinner and then back to my place, and I can blow your brains out while pulling on that luxurious hair." And then the guy on Grindr says, "Oh, straightforward, I see, LOL, especially from a man who won't show his face." And then allegedly Moses Mike responds, "Very discreet here, married with a few kids, not trying to mess up my situation." In the days of like everybody monitoring everything on X and Elon Musk with the community notes, this is just all still out there. Combined with last week's allegations from a guy on TikTok that went mega viral saying that Moses Mike has a Grindr profile. People from his hometown say there is no question that this guy does gay stuff when he is not governing. And it makes a lot of sense as to why he has this secret. And so he is primed to keep Kanks's secrets and those secrets surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, because a lot of these men in the Trump administration are broken, sexually repressed, emotionally wildly immature, and they are acting out their inner child issues on a national, global stage right now. And we are all the collateral damage. So that's what Moses Mike is doing. Hakeem and Chuck, this is a layup to take this guy out. You're going to have to get your hands dirty, and you've got to go after this guy, go after him, pull every single punch that you can. This is a layup. All right, like and subscribe to this video, and we'll see you all later.